Hi everyone. It's kind of late. I should be sleeping. But I have my appointment, my 6-week appointment, even though I'm almost at 7 weeks, with the plastic surgeon tomorrow. So I should have been adding notes into my phone, but I'm old school pen, loose leaf paper with the clipboard, trying to think of what questions I want to be asking him. Originally, after surgery, I saw the plastic surgeon team came in the morning after the surgery. Not my actual doctor, because he was in other surgeries, I think. And they were just checking in on me. And then I had a week follow-up appointment with the nurse practitioner in one office, in the office in the hospital where I had the surgery done. Which is not my plastic surgeon's like main hub of his office, like where he usually is. And then she took out one set of drains, and then at 2 weeks I saw my actual plastic surgeon, and he took out my second pair of drains. I wasn't expecting him to take, like, I had a whole list of questions for him for that second appointment, but I was not anticipating that he was taking out all the drains, well, the 2 that were left over. So when he did that, I was just distracted, and he also like took the medical tape that was still left, and he took it off, and I guess it looked awful from I was with a friend of mine. It looked awful from her watching, but for me it's like it was all numb, so I'm like, I don't feel anything anyway, if whatever it was. But those were unexpected things, so all the questions that I had just kind of went out the door, because I'm like, okay, I'm in a total different spot than what I thought I was gonna be in, and I just kind of froze, and then I left, and like that was that. And then obviously there's been stuff that happened with times I've had to message them on the gateway, and then when I dropped my phone on my boob and I had to go in, which was really, really hard. So I'm writing these questions as things are coming up. And geez, I have a page front and back and then another like 6 questions or so. But I thought like I'd focus the vlog today on these questions that I'm coming up with, because when I had that second appointment with him and took the drains out that were left, like that was when I was like dismissed to not see him for 3 months. And I'm like, 3 months? Like that just seems so long. And again, he does this all the time, but for me, I was like, I don't want to wait 3 months. Like, that's just so long. So he said, do you want to do 1 month? And I'm like, yes. So the 1 month plus the 2, plus a couple of days brings me to tomorrow. So the appointment will be tomorrow's Wednesday, and I'll be 7 weeks post-op on Friday. So, yeah, I'll go through my questions. What I'll say too for today, because look, it's late. Like I looked so much better a couple hours ago. I had to take a picture of myself though earlier, and I hope it came out okay. I'll use it as the thumbnail. So you can see what I look like when I used to go out. Well, I did go out today. So it was raining here in the Boston area again, and I'm doing this 35-mile walk, not in succession, like throughout the month of October for breast cancer, or for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and through the American Cancer Society. So people have donated close to $700 at this point. I had a goal of $200 because that's just what they give you, and that was very quickly met. And then it went up to $500, and I'm like, it's not a matter of like hitting the goal. It's just, I want to, encourage people that have the means, if they can donate, to just give back so we can get some more research to stop like having all these people have cancer. It's just, it's too much of a norm at this point. It's crazy. Anyway, then I hit the $500 mark, and then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go to 1,000 and let people have at it and do what they do. My part will be, I'm going to do the walking. I am going to try to be a role model to other people as they're going through this, that like yesterday, it was raining pretty hard, and I went to use the treadmill, which again I said was like super boring, whatever. So today I went out and it was still, I thought it wasn't raining, but I went out to take the recycling out, which I can do. I can't take the garbage out yet still because it's not that it's really too heavy. It's just that I'm holding it and I have to walk to our dumpster to chuck it. And even when I get to the dumpster, I have to like pick it up and like swing it into the dumpster, which I'm not able to do that yet without like it hurting. But the recycling is pretty easy because it's shorter to reach, and the recycling in general is lighter in weight than like garbage would be. So I've been happily taking out the recycling. I'm sure my son's happy because it's one less chore he has to do. And then I went walking this morning, and it was like misting, like pretty hard misting that you couldn't not have something on to keep you dry. So I'm like, what do you get? You get an umbrella. Okay, so I got an umbrella and started going up the street. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, well, now I have to hold the umbrella throughout the entire time I'm walking, which I'm consciously trying to move my arms while I'm walking so I don't look like I'm like this 8-month pregnant woman just walking like a robot or something. So I had the umbrella, and that was kind of a workout in and of itself, was just holding the umbrella. I could get so far. I was consciously, again, swinging my arms with the arm that wasn't holding the umbrella, and then I could only last for so long before I had to switch arms with the umbrella back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So it was kind of a workout. I walked like 1.6 miles, I think. Which is more than I thought I would. It's a lot easier to go further when I'm outside, when you have like destinations to go to, than walking on a stupid treadmill. I'm just not a gym kind of person. So I was proud of myself that I did that, and then I came back in. I was supposed to have gone out for breakfast with someone. I was really looking forward to it, but then she canceled last minute. Wasn't feeling well, and I'm like, well, I've been talking so much about socializing and being normal, and I was so looking forward to going out, but I get it if she's not feeling well. And I've been talking a couple of vlogs ago about my circles and like people that were here, and then like really kind of have moved out to here, and then like, okay, who's here that I'm choosing, like, hey, you know what, that person makes me feel good, let's bring them here. So this is where I'm at right now, trying to get back to positive thinking, which I know I have not been in that place the past couple of days. So today was very much a conscious effort to get out of that space, and like I can be that way for a couple of days even, but I can't be that way for a big chunk of time. It's just not healthy, and it's not a good place to be stuck in. So I let myself just be and have the emotions that I've had the past few days. Today, I'm like, I knew I was going to go out for breakfast. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk, and then I'm going to go for breakfast. And then that didn't happen. But then someone else also, like, not on the radar immediately for today, texted me and asked if she could like do any, the way she phrased it was like if she can do anything for me, like pick up something, whatever. And I'm like, I don't really want chores done for me. That's not where I am right now. I have people that are more than willing to like run out and pick up something. I'm like, what I really need right now is like friendship and just like reminders of like, who Jen was, because I'm having like body image and identity like stuff going on. That's something I should write down. Body image. Thinking out loud. Oh wait, that's not the right paper. Here we go. Body image. And what did I say? Oh, identity. Which I talked about yesterday too, but like that's where I have to get my head back in a good spot. And she is the person that's been putting those little like fun little stickers on my prescriptions because she works at a pharmacy. And I haven't seen her since all this stuff started because I hadn't been the ones picking up my meds. It's been somebody else. Although I did pick up the tamoxifen and she wasn't working that day. And I'm like, that's kind of, I was really hoping to see her, but whatever. So anyway, she just like randomly texted me and said that. And I said, that's not what I need. Like, what I need is this. I'm like, I said, my breakfast plans fell through and I really need to be around like positive energy right now and just be normal. I'm like, can we just, I can't remember exactly what I phrased, but something along those lines. And then fast forward, we ended up going to lunch together at a restaurant that I've been wanting to go to for a while. They opened up. It's a really big restaurant, very unique way of eating, of how you order your food there and stuff. Oh, another question. See, alcohol. How that plays into stuff. I had a beer today. It was a pumpkin beer, so it wasn't like a beer, but it was alcohol. And no, I didn't get drunk or buzzed or whatever. I was so afraid because I'm like, how is this going to affect me? What are the implants going to think? So yeah, so I went out for lunch with her, and I've never gone out for lunch with her before. Yeah, like I know her through scouting, so like, we would see each other through that and whatever, and yeah, I've never gone out like one-on-one with her before. But I'm like, I need to be around her energy right now. So we went out for lunch and I'm like, all right, like I got a date now, like I was so excited and she was so excited. And I'm like, you know what? That's how I'm going to treat this. Like not in that way. Like I don't swing the way A and B, she's married. No, it was like two friends going out. But I wanted to, like, what I have control over. If I were to get up and go to this place where I hear that, it's pretty hopping down the road when I'm feeling better, might be a good place to meet, someone, whatever. But I'm like, I want to like make myself look like I'm going out, even though it's lunch, whatever. So I took a shower when I get home from my rainy walk. I was a little muddy and stuff. Didn't wash my hair because like I don't want, I wash my hair like twice a week or something. I don't like that. I wash my hair like twice a week or something because it gets too frizzy and it doesn't work if I actually wash it more frequently than that. So I showered, again, still weird to shower. Obviously we're gonna have a nice talk about boobs tomorrow at the plastic surgeon's office. And then I picked out an outfit to wear. So I'm sitting down right now, but I'll put this as a thumbnail, but I have like my skinny jeans on, although they are very elastic. Like they're skinny jeans, but they are a size bigger than I intentionally got for this time right now where I'm like up a bunch of pounds, but didn't want to go nuts with a lot of pants. So it has a pretty elastic waistband and they're stretchy even though they're skinny jeans. I have skinny legs anyway. It's like carrying my weight like here and here too. So I put the jeans on and then I wore this shirt. I wore this shirt in the fashion show. It was actually kind of cold out today. I wore this shirt in my fashion show, which is just like a cowl neck kind of thing. And like underneath, I have the sports bra underneath, but I'm crisscrossing this enough that you can't tell. And put my little navigation thing, which I still have to do a vlog about that. I put that on as my little necklace, and I wore my badass bracelet and my FMD bracelet. This is FMD in Morse code, by the way. And I still have my Inkbox tattoos. This one's wearing off, but I still have this one. I never put earrings on. Earrings when you wear masks during COVID they kind of get in the way. And I didn't really want anything pulling on me. Like even necklaces, I don't normally wear necklaces because it's stuff touching here and I don't like how that feels. Today was not about practicality. Today was about looking good, and that was it. Um, I rolled up my pants on the bottom. I wore ankle boots with like little heels on them. I haven't worn heels in a long time because before all this happened, it was summer. I wasn't wearing heels in the summer. I was wearing flip-flops and sneakers. Um, and man, was it uncomfortable to walk with those heels on. I would walk around like I have a pair of shoes that are platform 5.5 inch heels. And they're, I'm telling you, the most comfortable shoes ever. But these boot kind of things, whatever, when you haven't walked in heels in a while, took some like balancy practice. But I'm like, I just want to look good. I don't need to be practical. I'm not walking a lot today. And then I wore this, and then it was rainy out, so I wanted a jacket, but not just like, not a practical jacket. I wore my pleather blue jacket. Oh, I usually roll up the sleeves because the inside of the sleeves were cool. I forgot to do that. Whatever. And then my makeup. I went like really all out with the makeup. And now it's the end of the day, so it's kind of worn out, but all the freckles that I have here, I used like yellowing stuff and, did, oh, this is interesting. Like foundation, all that stuff. The one thing that I couldn't do because of my arm and my range of motion, I put eyeliner usually if I'm going out on my upper lid. I could not put eyeliner on because I couldn't reach, like you need two hands like to pull and to do this at the same time. And it just hurt to make this movement with my hand. So I couldn't do that. So I don't think anyone really cared. I just put some more mascara on to cover up not having the eyeliner. But it's interesting, out of all the things like eyeliner, I can't do that yet without it hurting. And I wasn't gonna have it hurt because I needed my arms to be able to eat. Yeah, I put cream on, and I even put like lavender on so it would get the bugs away if there are mosquitoes, and smell nice. And I was worried about my pits smelling because that's one of the questions I have, like, why are my pits still smelling? It's really just the one side. So I put deodorant on, made sure I'd shave my legs and I shaved my armpits, because it was hot as hell inside the restaurant. And then my hair, I mean, it looked a lot better earlier, but still, like, I flat ironed my hair. I flat ironed my entire head, and it's interesting because my left hand can pretty much get everywhere. So, like, this half of my head was fine. This side gets more complicated because, again, I don't have the range of motion to go back here in order to reach to be able to do it. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to learn how to use my flat iron differently. So my hair could look somewhat different, but my normal way of flat ironing my hair is just not going to work right now with that side of my head. So I tried just like, switching over my part and then pushing it over to the other side and flat ironing it with my left arm, like on the left side, and then letting it like go over. And it actually turned out pretty well. Like now it's just kind of dried and all the product is gone. And then my right side, I could keep my arm low and just like sort of twist. So it's just a matter of modifications to see what works. And then I put some serum in my hair, and it looked really, really, really good. I was very happy with how things looked when it all was said and done. And I looked a little overdressed, but I didn't care because I wanted to look overdressed. And then I start walking out, and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing heels on stairs. Like, that's a stupid idea. It was just uncomfortable, and I'm like, it's not about comfort today. It is about going out and looking good. And then, plus with the pandemic, like, I'm not used to being out and about, and there is a mask mandate. Where we went was the town next door to us, and unfortunately, they have a mask mandate too, so I felt comfortable being in there. But the gist of where we were eating was that they have taps on the wall. So, and it's digitized. It's so cool. So you get this card, and I think they link it with your credit card or something. And it's like going to Dave & Buster's. You swipe, you pick which beer you want, and then you do your own tap and fill it up. And I haven't had alcohol in so long. I haven't been to a bar in so long. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I should be having beer or not. But I'm like, the only thing that I'm on right now is the tamoxifen. And there's plenty of people that are on tamoxifen, and I don't think that they're all dry. But I'm like, if I have a small amount of beer, like, I thought it would be fine, because I know I tend to run, like, way on the side of caution. And I had a pumpkin beer. I'm like, come on, you know, like, let me have my freaking pumpkin beer. But I did ask about, or the friend that I went with asked about non-alcoholic beers, which I'm German. Non-alcoholic beers is like an oxymoron, though they are much better at them in the days of like O'Doul's and stuff. Heineken actually makes a pretty good, Heineken and St. Pauli's Girl make a pretty decent non-alcoholic beer. And even those, by the way, still have some alcohol in it. So he brought out 2 cans. I'm like, they're really pretty cans. I'm like, I don't drink beer because it comes in a pretty can. And I don't want canned beer, you know? So I'm like, I appreciate it. I know that you have it now, whatever. But I'm like, I'm just going to go over there and have the pumpkin beer. And I feel such a rookie because it's been so long. So when I went to put the tap on, I'm not skilled with this anymore. I don't even know when I've used a tap and or filled a beer. It's been a really long time. I'm not a big drinker. So when I filled it, it was like 50% head. And I'm like, crap. I used to be, as a German, I used to be really, really good at pouring a beer and having like the slightest little like head on top, and that was it. And this was a horrible job. And I wasn't even thinking about it when it was done. And then the bartender comes over and he's like, you know, well, here's the best way to fill it. And I'm like, well, I could do that if I was thinking about it, but I was just so excited to have the beer. I wasn't thinking about how to pour it in the cup until it was done. And then you're charged by how many ounces come out in the tap. So you basically hold on to that card, and if you want to go keep refilling and drinking beer after beer, you can. It's just that you swipe every time, so it charges you by, I think, by the ounce. So it's very interesting. So like he filled it and showed me. I'm like, oh, but you have no head on yours, so can I take yours instead? But then I'm like, no, what? I shouldn't do that because, because I didn't want to have a full beer. I didn't know how I was going to respond to it being on the tamoxifen. So anyway, I was fine. It felt nice to drink. Like, I like drinking beer. I like the taste. I thank my ancestors, I guess, for that. But it was just like, it was a really, really, really nice afternoon. I didn't have to like rush to be home. It's one of the benefits of having an older son. You know, he can get in by himself. He has my car. He's just doing his own thing. And, you know, he's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm out socializing. Like, I was so excited. And, I mean, we were outside. We weren't by a lot of people, but like no one looked at me funny because I looked normal. And it was just nice to, I don't even think she ever looked down there. And I said, like, if you have questions, just go ahead and ask. Because I'm like, right now, it just looks what I would normally look like. At one point, this did separate. Well, you can't see it here, but it did separate so that you could see the top of my sports bra. And it has the zipper, which, I mean, does stand out. But I just, like, fixed it, whatever. Like, not a big deal. Yeah, so it was a really nice day, and it was, you know, an example of, like, you can be in your rut, even if it's for a couple of days, and let yourself feel all the feels, but just don't get stuck there. You know, waking up to a rainy day and, you know, having plans canceled, I'm like, I could have just easily, like, stayed in bed and been like, whatever. I actually did open the puzzle that I got from the Council on Aging. I'm like, I'll do a puzzle instead because it's better than just sitting around and watching the same old shows, whatever. And then I'm like, I'm not doing a puzzle. I'm going out for lunch. I was really, really, really excited and happy. And tomorrow, yeah, it's so funny how this all pulled together. And I haven't even posted the vlogs of me complaining about all this stuff yet. Not complaining, but sharing about how I was feeling about feeling isolated and alone and not able to escape my apartment because I can't drive. But a friend of mine had signed up to help with like chores and stuff tomorrow on the Sign Up Genius. And like my groceries are already gotten. There's a couple of things that I still need, but like anyone can just pick those up. They're not super time pressing or whatever. I said, but she actually was at the hospital when I came out of surgery, like later on that night. She came by to visit, which was super, super sweet because it's kind of a drive for her to get out here. Um, and it was just, it was nice that she came out. She's a very calm person, very relaxed, just easy to be around. And I'm like, that's what I need to be around right now. I'm not reaching out to people I feel obligated to reach out to because I don't really feel obligated to reach out to anyone right now. Um, but I'm like, I need to be around people that I find to fuel me, and to like bring out the good in me. So tomorrow, after my appointment with the plastic surgeon, I'm gonna go for lunch with her, which is like super great. Not far from where I live, but a place that does not do Grubhub or anything. So I haven't eaten there in a while, and I miss their food. Uh, and then it's not supposed to rain tomorrow, so that'll be a nice break. But I can't for super long because it's college application season, so we got some work to do. I have a FAFSA to fill out soon. Oh boy, fun in the sun. All right, so let's switch gears. It's getting late, and I'll share with you the questions that I have about what I want to ask plastics. So again, this is just me from what things have popped up. I'm sure I'm missing things, and I'll try to organize these better so it's not like a page front and back. He's gonna be like, oh, and I don't doubt for a second that I'll take the time to answer all these things. But as something pops up, I am going to write it down. All right, so my arms. I was pleasantly surprised that my left arm, I was able to reach at the top of my head. So I'm like, obviously I can reach my left arm now above my head, which is a huge milestone. My right arm, totally not. It's pretty much, let's see, it's pretty much here before I start feeling like the pull in here. And right now I've done enough and it's late in the day. I don't want to push that. But even that, it brings pain. I should like move this back. It brings pain. Like when I do that, the pain is like in here, which is a weird place to feel pain for my arm. So question, how long till I can lift my arm over my head? Typically, I want to ask about starting PT again. And, typically that starts at 6 weeks. I think they just started me too soon before. I'm not sure why. And where to do PT, because I actually found out that I live right next to a physical therapy place, which I had no idea. It's a big building with all sorts of stuff in it, but in it is a fitness center that has a physical therapy division inside of it. And I know there's people in town that there's 2 other smaller physical therapy places, and they all rave about them. So knowing that, other people have seen success with what they've gone in for, makes me feel motivated. The thing is, I don't know if I need to find someone who's focused more on, like post-mastectomy things so that they know like what's attached. I think I showed yesterday, I can't, last night, I think, because I had a t-shirt on, but now that I'm a bit more open, like I can feel the pulling down like almost all the time. And I'm wearing a super supportive bra right now. Like there's the cups in it. This cup like sat really weird. It's almost like folded in half. But when I look at these vlogs and I'm like, I'm really not that heavy. I've actually lost 3 or 4 pounds from my last weigh-in, at least on my scale at home, which made me feel happy. I can tell because of the way that my clothes fit. But in the vlogs, it's like I always look so heavy. And granted, I'm not wearing makeup in like all of them and stuff. I'm not done up like at all. But I'm like, I'm really not that heavy. But then like I used to do this all the time. Not all the time, but if you do that exercise, it makes like this supposedly, oh, that hurt down here. If you do an exercise, it's supposed to tighten up the muscles that are here. The way my chin is hereditary. My mom's chin and some of her sisters are the same way. It just kind of goes, I don't have like a defined jawline. I'm grateful that my kids do. but I feel like all the skin is just like being pulled down from the weight of my boobs. They still feel so heavy to me. They are getting softer, which they said that they would. And I get that it's still only been like 6.5 weeks. Um, but when I do that, it's like I feel it like here, all the way in here. I mean, I literally can put my hand here and feel my skin move from doing that, which is just crazy. And then they had that I had just a second ago. Anyway, just something weird, and like I don't want to have an even worse jawline because of the pulling. I don't know. My right shoulder really hurts. That I need to bring up with him too. It did hurt slightly before all this stuff happened too, but I wonder if when they put your arm out during surgery, like you look like you're on a crucifix, if that aggravated things even worse. But I imagine when I have physical therapy, they'll look at that too. Um, no holds barred here. The constipation has gotten out of control. I don't know what is happening with that. I've been moving more because I've been walking in the mornings. I don't understand why I'm as constipated as I am. I really don't. I've been eating like much more healthy. I drink a ton of fluids. I haven't been like this in God, I don't even know, ever. I can't blame it on medication. And as far as I know, if anything, with the tamoxifen, actually I should put a note with the tamoxifen. It happens slightly before that too. But the tamoxifen, I thought, if anything, it could make you nauseous. So I'm sure I time it for 11 o'clock a.m. I'm home anyway, so I have my kidney stone meds before and after breakfast. And then, like, once I have my full stomach, then I'll eat. And I know that no matter what, when I go walking in the morning, I'll definitely have had breakfast by 11 o'clock. It depends on how motivated I am with my walking as to how much time I'm out walking in the morning. So yeah, I don't know what the heck that's all about. My right armpit, why is it so damn smelly? I have no idea. That could be an oncology question. I'm not sure. Because my breast surgeon is the one who dealt with the lymph nodes and stuff. And I'll put a note, I imagine it's because of the lymph nodes. I don't really get that part of the whole thing. But I don't understand why. My left one's really not that bad, but my right one, man. I could go in the shower. I wash with soap, and I've been washing with a loofah. I can wash my underarms with a loofah because there's no scars here. It's the scars are down here from the drains, and then obviously the big one, or big ones. But I can use the loofah, and I'm like, I'll use a loofah with like gentle scented body wash and use soap after that. And I get out of the shower, not all the time, but sometimes, and it still smells. And I'm like, what the hell more do I do? I don't know. I have great deodorant, but I don't understand why it smells or that goes away or what that's about. This is a big one. Explaining what exactly he did, because that was a question when I went for my 2-week follow-up, but then I never got a chance to actually ask him because that was when he pulled those 2 drains out and I wasn't anticipating that. So, I never actually said, like, what exactly did you do when you were in there? You know, I've read some of the papers. Honestly, there's a pile on my printer of things I've printed out to go through, but I haven't even read through all the friggin' reports. There's just so many of them, and I'd rather just have an overview. He's very concise with how he responds to things. I mean, he answers the question just in a super concise way. Not like me, I ramble a lot, but that's me. Yeah, I want to understand what exactly he did. Because the discussion of what was going to be done, a lot of judgment calls he said he wouldn't be able to make until he actually was in there and saw what was going on. You know, he put the permanent implants in there because they pretty much knew I wouldn't need radiation because all the imaging showed that my lymph nodes were fine. And then later on when the pathology came back, they were fine. So it was okay for him to put the final implants in and not do expanders. But he wouldn't have known that. And even size-wise, you know, we had that discussion, and I'm like, I don't know really what the right call is. I trust him, you know, I said, I just want to look natural. I want to look proportionate. That's a huge thing to ask. Like, you want to look proportionate. And I say, when all is said and done, like, I'm a single woman. I still need these sisters to, get me free beers. Ow, that hurt. Uh, uh, pain. Another one. Damn it, that hurt. Pain by drain sites and scars. Like, when do those pains stop? Ah, God, that hurt. Okay, deformities in my boobs. I know that they're going to shift. I know it takes 3 to 6 months for them to look like more normal. But I want to make sure that I'm being proactive if something is like not looking like what it's supposed to look like. So a couple of spots for me, which I'm not going to show you, but the middle here, my scar just goes like straight across. So in the middle here, my boobs are not symmetric. It's like when you take something and sew it. I don't know how to use my hands to describe this, but you take something and you sew it together, but then like at the end where they're actually sewn, it sticks out a little because it's like that's where you pulled it apart or together to sew it. So it's just not a smooth thing, and I don't know what they do to make it that way. So I have that in the middle. Oh, I wrote nipple. I meant to say ripple. Big difference. The ripple on my left, right. Oh, the ripple on my left side. So when I drop the phone on my boob, there is like, it is blue veiny, whatever, but I think that'll just go away over time. But I do want his 2 cents about, make a note, 2 cents about phone incident. I'm gonna write, what the fuck did I do? The ripple that's still there, I can still feel it. And if it goes away, that's great. But if there's something I can be doing to make that ripple be more consistent and not like as deep down as it goes, I'd like to be proactive and do that. My right side, granted there was more done there, but like my left side is a pretty clear scoop. I feel like I should be moving this down a little bit so you could see. My left side is a pretty clear scoop here. Like, it's very like normal looking. My right side comes up this way, and then it almost goes like flat for a little bit. There's like a little bubble there. And I don't know if that's just my side, because maybe I just have more skin or whatever there. I don't know. That hurt. Ugh. But it's not like the pretty scoop like the left side is. And I get, yes, I had cancer. They removed a tumor. It's not all going to be like perfect. And my boobs before certainly were not perfect or symmetrical. But if I'm having plastic surgery, like, I want to make sure I can maximize what my boobs are going to look like. Question, will it always be numb? My boob in this section, maybe I should keep this down. My boob in that section and the sides. So yeah, I'll go in closer. So, I have feeling here, it's like higher up. But the part where the scar is, it's numb. I can feel around it, but like it's numb. So I want to know, like, they can't, I'm sure, guarantee stuff, but if like what I feel now is like what I'm gonna be feeling, if that's just like what happens with all of it. And the other part is my sides, like where, not so much this side actually. This side is more just sensitive. Put on here sensitivity. I can't even read my own handwriting. Sensitivity. Where the drains were and stuff, like it still is very sensitive to touch. And here, oh, damn, like everything hurts. Here it's both sensitive and numb. Mostly numb in the right side. And I imagine that's because of the lymph nodes. I'm not really sure. I don't understand why it's numb on the side. And I'll say, why numb on sides? Okay, the fact that my boobs feel like bricks, how long is that gonna last? They feel more like, um, more controllable, I guess would be the right word, but they still feel incredibly heavy, and it's like, when is that gonna go away? Laying down horizontally. So if you can see here, that's my newest bed setup with the pillows. You can see there. I have a husband behind that big pink one. And then at the base of the pink one is this purple thing, which is another pillow. It's just very moldable. So this is like this helps with my back, so my back doesn't hurt. I also have this pillow. This is gonna be a long vlog today, but good. You get to look at my makeup even longer. I put an eyebrow pencil on today. But I also have this other pillow, which if you're from Bedford, I got from the mattress sale for the marching band. But I have this pillow, and it has a scoop in the middle of it. It is, I think it was chamomile, where you can like spray it. It's memory foam, and you can like spray it with chamomile, so you go to sleep, and it's like, chamomile. But it has a scoop in here, which is great for my neck. So I'll, have it this way, and while I'm sleeping, it's pretty heavy because it's a bigger size. I think it's a king size. So this scoop around here, I would try doing it, but I don't know if I can. I can't do that right now. But the scoop goes around my neck this way, and I can just lay back, and then the sides just like sit here, and it's just super, super comfortable. That's my situation, but I'm still at like the beach chair position. My legs aren't elevated anymore. Oh, I have this bump on the back of my knee. I don't know what that's all about. And when I was mentioning the constipation part, I want to get a GI recommendation. So yeah, I don't know when I'm allowed to lay down horizontally, because right now I really don't want to. Even from sitting up straight when I went for lunch today, sitting straight in a chair like that, like in a regular, like hard chair, we were outside. After a while, it's like, it just felt like there was so much pulling, like so much gravity pushing down on my chest. And it was at that point where I'm like, I gotta close up shop and head home, because it was just too much. So yeah, I don't know when I'm like allowed to lay down horizontally. I feel like my boobs would be like going off to the side. I also don't know, he had said originally that I could sleep with no bra on after 2 weeks. I tried that for like a day or two, and it was okay after the first day. It was kind of freeing, but then I'm like, no, like I still need the support. And what I'm doing right now with my sides, I used to have these, I think I still have the pillows, but I'm not using them that way. I have these square pillows that are fluffy, but they're square, they're not rectangular. And I used to like put them under here to help support. But what I'm finding out is more helpful really on my right side, because my left arm has more mobility. But on the right side, I don't want to do it right now because it'll hurt. I feel more under control if my right arm is here, and I'm using the pillow against my left arm to keep my left arm here. It just helps keep everything together, because my left arm isn't going to give or slide or move. And then like longer term, is it bad for, I don't even know if my stitches are all gone, honestly. I don't think my stitches are all gone. I think there's still a couple that haven't dissolved yet, because when I put my hand over it, I still feel like a couple of hard things that I think are the stitches. But I want to know if it's bad. Oh, I was even thinking that stitches. For the scar, like, I don't know if it's bad for the scar to not wear a bra at all. It's nice to just be able to lay sometimes and not have anything on, because after a while, the zipper from here, it feels like it's like a cardboard in between, and it's just not comfortable. But I want to know if, like, because my stitches are here, or my scar is here, with the weight, I feel like it's like pulling the scar down. And I'm thinking that I have like 3 spots where there might be scar tissue forming. So I'm like, does he just go and like re-sew it to get it back together again? because I don't obviously want to have a bad scar. But if I need to still wear, like, if I still need the compression, which I'm going to write down, like, do I still need the compression? Or do I have a little bit more leniency and you know, wearing a bra versus not wearing a bra? It's getting to be colder out, so I don't really, it's not like I'm wearing sundresses to, you know, be fashionable by not wearing a bra. Driving, something else I want to talk about. I'm not sure how protective to be with my boobs while I'm driving. I have that pillow that you've seen, the leopard skin one, which is great when I'm a passenger because it sits like close. As a driver, this part is great, but it seems like it's a little bit too much on the sides. I want to have that, but it's not held in place as well with the seatbelt. But I still want to have something on my side. So, but I don't know how protective I should be being. Like, maybe it's okay to just have the regular seatbelt and leave it alone and just be done with it. I don't know. The random pings of pain, like what you just saw, that wasn't really random because I was doing things that caused me to have the pings of pain. But like, how long does that last? I know that that's gotten exceedingly better. It started up a little bit more when I wasn't taking the gabapentin anymore. But overall, like, I don't really have them often. They're pretty much always, well, not pretty much, they are always based on something I'm doing where it's obviously too much and I have to stop. It's an immediate reaction to like whatever I was doing before, where I just like, you know, or if I'm just like, I'm washing dishes or something, or I'm putting laundry, even folding laundry is actually really, really hard. You don't realize how much you're moving your arms up and down to fold laundry. But I'll get those random like jabs of pain, but then they go away pretty quickly. What kind of bras to wear because the zip ones get so itchy in the middle. The Velcro ones were like super cardboardy. These are much better. I love these bras. I have 3 of them, and then I have the 3 that they gave me there, which I use for sleeping, which I don't have here. I may end up just sleeping in this one. But yeah, like he said not to wear underwires when all is said and done, so I'm not sure what kinds of bras I should be wearing. Like, do I just go the rest of my life with wearing sports bras? I don't mind so much because of the racerback thing, but it's not really very pretty. Like, if I want to get dressed up and I have like a racerback sports bra on, I don't know. The neck exercises with the skin pulling, which I mentioned. With driving also, the thing that hurts with driving, and if he's telling me I'm having PT, I imagine it will be mentioned, but it's things like when I'm turning my head, like that motion hasn't been discussed. When I'm driving and in my whopping parking lots, and I'm looking left to see if there's a car coming, you know, me making that turn to my left, like, I don't know if you can tell by you even doing this as I'm doing it, but when you turn your head left, there is a pull here, and I feel it. My right side, not so much, but my left, I guess because most of the stuff is on my right side, but if I turn left, I definitely feel like a pull here. And then moving my torso, because like if you're backing up or like looking for either way, you're checking your blind spot, you're moving your torso. So I want to make sure that I'm not moving in a way that's making something heal more slowly. I am still having some oozing on my right side. I don't know what that's about. And I'm concerned, like I said, that I think I have scar tissue that's forming. That happened after I had my first son. And I remember I went to the gynecologist, and not the one I see now. And she's like, oh yeah, there's some scar tissue. We'll take care of that. And they use liquid nitrogen to get rid of it. They basically freeze it off like a wart or something. But they didn't tell me that that's what they were doing. And she just did it. And that pain, to have like something frozen off inside of your, like, you know, on that, is it your perineum, whatever? Holy crap, did that hurt. That hurt ridiculously. And I was considering not using her for my second son because I'm like, that is just so not okay. I was in tears, like, oh my God, that hurt. This would be numb, but like if there is scar tissue, I'd want to, know when and how he's going to take care of that. And give me a heads up if he's using something to freeze it off when I go there tomorrow. I'm getting late here, and I'm getting so tired. This I already mentioned. It looks like the weight of my boob is starting to pull the scar apart to make the scar actually bigger. That's what it looks like to me. I want to ask if all the stitches are actually out, because last time I showered, I could feel pointy stuff on the right side still where the bottom drain was. And I'm pretty sure they're all out, but I still feel a couple weird things. I'm not sure what I'm feeling. Oh, can I put something on the scars to make them heal better and keep them moisturized? Like when you have a baby and they tell you that you could use, oh boy, what is it called? Oh, I was going to send this actually to my cousin. Make a note. I hope she's not watching. Lancino is a nipple cream. I know this has nothing to do with anything I'm talking about. That's super helpful when you're when you're pregnant or when you're nursing. It helps tremendously. But for whatever reason, I just thought of that. But coconut butter works really, really well for stretch marks. And there's other things too. I want to know if there's something I can be putting on them to help heal them. So like, once the scar's there, it's there. But if I can put something on to keep it moisturized, so, to make it fade more easily and have it be more smooth and look prettier, then I want to do that. But I don't know what the right thing is to use. They say Aquaphor like is great for everything, but it's Vaseline. So you put Aquaphor on, you can't just like put your bra on because it's oily. It'll soak through, and then you're gonna have like Aquaphor clothes, and who wants that? This is a weird thing. I have this black dot at the end of my scar here, a little bit over and up. There's a little black dot. It almost looks like a triangle. I can't see it close enough. I could probably take a picture of it and zoom in, but it's hard to do that with one hand, and my right arm that just isn't cooperating. I do know that when you have radiation, they put these markers on you that look like little, like almost like little beauty marks or moles or whatever. But they do that as markers so that they know like where to line things up. And you just have those. I have this black dot there, and it's not elevated. Like, it's not like it's dried up blood or something. It's been flat, and it's been there all this time. I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it's there, but I know it was not there before I had the surgery done. So I'm curious if it's some sort of marker for me, too. I mean, the scar is going to be there, like, unless I think the scar is really going to go away, and they're like, where was the scar? And, this little dot will remind them, like, oh, that's where stuff was. I don't think my tumor was even that far back, so I don't know what that mark is about. I'll come back to all this when I find out all the answers. Masturbating. Something I'm going to talk about in another vlog, not right now because I'm running out of time. But I'm being all open, and people are appreciative of my candor and openness. But I wonder from the bodily reaction of climaxing after masturbation, if that actually causes oozing to happen, because there's so much stuff going on in your body. I don't know if I'm breaking something by masturbating. That's what I want to know. But I will say, and this is again going to be another conversation, that it's a way that I have control right now over what makes me feel pretty and sexy. Not pretty, but sexy and sexual, where I've lost the erogenous zone of my nipples, which is something that that's the next thing, nipples and sensation, that I still have to wrap my head around. This is not about other men at all. This is about me. Like, I am, I've come to my own. I was a late bloomer and whatever, and I know what my body can do, and it is very, very hard about not having my nipples and not ever feeling that sensation again of having nipple stimulation. Yeah, I put a note there, like, when they do my nipples, I know they say I can't have, I don't even know what I meant to say, but like, it's more of the emotional part. I think that's what I was trying to get to, is the emotional part about not having my nipples is hitting me really hard right now. Really hard. And my libido, even though they say that with the tamoxifen, your libido can go like right down the tubes, I almost feel like if I keep masturbating, it will make my libido not go down, because I'll remember like, oh, that feels good, so I should keep doing that. It's like psych out the side effects from the tamoxifen, and that won't happen. But I don't want to cause something to go wrong, because I mean, it's to climax is an extreme experience, but I don't want that to cause something to go wrong. Like if it's going to cause more swelling right now or whatever, I don't want it to be an issue. So I want to make sure that I'm, not having a little bit too much fun with that to see. I want to ask them when they do the tattoos of my nipples, and when I have to make the decision about how they'll do my nipple. Again, you can, from what I understand, you can have a piece of your thigh cut out and they just kind of roll that tissue and pop it on there, and that's your nipple. Or they take, well, actually, this is a good shirt to show you, but they take your skin and they like take it and they twist it, which seems like it's painful, but keep in mind my skin right there now is numb. So when they take it, you got this like little like nub thing left over, and then that becomes your nipple. To me, that makes like more sense of them doing that. That's more natural than taking like a piece of my thigh and then I have a scar on my thigh and it's just more things to cut, which I don't want. I'd rather them just take this if they can do that. Emotional supports. I would love to find a glass half full group of women that are single, that are close to my age, as a support group. Is that a thing? I have no idea. In the past, I have not found support groups that have worked out. It's, I think once, maybe ever, did it work out. I find that a lot of those support groups are just a lot of people that want to complain about all these things that are going wrong, and that is not what I need. And there are also support groups where it's like, oh, my husband was so busy today doing the laundry, blah, blah, but I got to catch up on my soaps, which sounds so cliche, but that's stuff that I've read on these, groups or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not in that boat. It's great that your husband's doing the laundry, but that's not my life. And that's not what I want to hear about. Like, I want to hear about people that are like, hey, I've been doing this, and, I was able to get sensation back in my nipples, and I met this guy and he saw my boobs and he was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize the scar until whatever. And they had sex, and like, he didn't even notice anything about her nipples whatsoever, that they even were not her original nipples. Like, those are the kinds of things. I did learn that they have one-to-one support groups through cancer centers. I don't know if they have that specifically for breast cancer, but something to ask. And the one-to-one, it can be hard too, because like, what if you don't click with them? But honestly, anyone I've worked with through the cancer center at Newton Wellesley has been like phenomenal. All right, I want to ask if the swelling is gone. I don't know if this is just what my boobs are going to look like, or if there's still swelling that has to go down. I don't know. Size-wise, I don't know if this is what size will be. Right now, my right side is higher than my left side is. The implant here seems to start higher. Here, I don't feel it till like down here. How much can I handle them? Yeah, me putting my hand on them or whatever. Like, I want to touch them. I want to make them feel like they're mine. That actually hurt. I've been doing too much. But how much can I handle them and not mess something up? A weird question is hair color. So my hair color is okay right now. My roots are pretty dark, but I'm going to start to get gray soon. I'm going to need to have my roots done. I don't want to have to go to a salon. Like, it's a nice perk, but I don't want to have to go to a salon to keep getting my hair shampooed. I shampooed my hair for the first time on my own, like I said, like what, yesterday or the day before that. But it takes a lot of energy out. I'll probably do it for another couple of weeks, but financially I just can't keep that up. Um, but I worry about that if I have my hair colored and then you go to wash it out, like yes, they wash it out when you're there, but when I'm at home, usually it takes another shower or two for all the dye to actually be out. I'm worried that what if they shower and it comes down and some for my hair it looks purplish a lot. Like what if the purple dye gets inside of my scar and actually makes my scar darker? I don't know if that's actual a thing or not, but it's something I want to ask about. All right, second page and almost done. I'm getting to an hour. I might hit a record here. Dancing. It seems silly, but I'm trying to think of what things I used to do that make me feel good. Dancing requires bouncing, but there are live musicians and live bands that are starting to play again. Music so soothes the savage beast. I love listening to music. I can just sit there and chill. If I'm okay to drink, I would love to just sit in a jazz club once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, whatever, with a nice warm brandy and just listen. But I also do like listening to cover bands and that kind of stuff. And I know they're going to tell me, like, if it hurts, don't do it, whatever. And I won't know until I'm doing it. I don't plan on getting so inebriated that I won't be able to tell. But I don't want to do too much and cause longer time in my healing. Bending over. I still have a very hard time bending over. I bend with my knees to get up and down. But if I'm doing something where I need to be on all fours, like if I'm picking something up off the floor or looking for something that's like down low, it feels like whatever layers that they put together are separating. And then when I get back up again, my boob feels warm, which I don't like that. So I assume it's blood rushing to it, which is why it's warm. But I just want to share that with him and, ask him, does that just take longer? Or should I, let it do that and let the blood flow? Or should I still, like what I do now is I put my hand over my boobs before I lay down or before I bend over. I'd like an instruction booklet. I like a breast implant instruction booklet. The things that I don't know, with how I need to treat my boobs. I don't know how to treat implants. Like, you get a puppy, you can buy books about how to take care of puppies. You get kids, there's no instruction manual, people try. They do have parenting books, whatever. Like, I want a booklet that tells me this is how you take care of implants. This is how they're going to feel different from your boobs. So, like, please give me that booklet. There probably is none, but I'm still going to ask anyway. The best way to sleep. I'm a side sleeper. I don't know what that's going to look like. Fortunately, I usually sleep on my left side, and my right side is the side that had all the hubbub. So, but I don't want to sleep on my left side if I'm not supposed to be sleeping on my left side. So I need to know, do I still stay in this like beach chair elevated position? Because it's okay, but it's definitely not the most comfortable way to sleep. Body image and identity. Oh, I feel like these are things I talked about when we were just vlogging right now. Yeah, who am I? I'm a new body. I'm a new person, and I'm trying to sort that out, but I need help with that. Yeah, alcohol. I'm not a big drinker, but I do want to know, like, I don't know, like if I had a beer, like if I actually had a full glass of beer, not like the small amount that I had, is it going to cause something to happen? I have no idea. And yeah, the rest I just came up with as we were talking. So I'm glad I did this out loud to help me out, because it is a lot of questions. But again, to help you out there too, because I mean, this is the spot where I am, and I'm sure you'd have your own questions to ask if you're going through all this, because everyone's, process is different. But yeah, I need to get these questions together. That way when I go there, I can just like plow them out. And I do plan on audio recording the appointment. I am having a friend take me there, but I don't want someone to be in the same room with me, other than me, the plastic surgeon, and probably a nurse, because my plastic surgeon's male. They don't usually have like male, female in a room alone. At least not for this kind of appointment. But yeah, like talking about masturbation and constipation and and lots of other Asians are not things that are easy to talk about in front of even your closest friends, so, at least for me. So I would rather just be able to throw it all out there. It's easier to do it on a vlog because, I mean, there's not a physical human behind there, except for Wonder Woman, who's on my dresser behind you guys. Yeah, so that's my list, and I need to ridiculously get to bed. Jeez, it's midnight. It's tomorrow. Oh, I gotta get my makeup off and go to sleep. And then get ready for this appointment tomorrow. It's gonna be a big day. And then Thursday is a bigger day because I go to the gynecologist on Thursday. So we'll see what she has to say. It's the joys of womanhood as you get to be older. All right. Good night, everyone. It's been late. Thanks for your patience, and I hope this was helpful. Bye.